welcome back to Playing for Second. I am Brian, and today I'm going to be playing one of my new arrivals that are currently on my shelf of shame, A Place for All My Books. So this one I 100% bought because of the theme. My primary hobby is probably reading, and board games would be my second. They're very close. So when I saw this one, I was pretty excited about it. 95%, I guess I'll say, is because of theme, because I did look at the gameplay, and it looked pretty fun. So I just read the rules. I just set us up for a solo game. There is a solo variant in the rule book. So we're going to go ahead and give that a shot, and then I'll give my initial first impressions. So go ahead and join me at the table, and let's get going. Okay, so we are set up, as I mentioned, for a solo game. So things are going to be different if you're playing this multiplayer. There's going to be two of these boards. This is my player board. This is my house, basically. And then Penelope Ever Ready over here. This is the solo mechanic. So the neat part about this is it's a deck of cards. You do not need to play with a second board or anything like that, so it doesn't kind of bog down the table. So just a brief explanation. I'm not going to go into a full rules teach. I'll kind of explain what I'm doing as I play. But we have a few different types of cards out here. Up at the top here, we've got our little projects. Now these are also mixed in with some random books to start the game. Those are the bookstore. So if you take the bookstore action, you will get to pick a set of those, and then we will also then do a restock of those up top. So there will always, though, be a smallest, a medium, and a largest in terms of book size. So the game starts with 3, 2, and 1. But as we buy things, more books are going to come out so that there's always a smallest, a medium, and a largest. Over on this side here, we have other neat stuff. So there's always 2 cards here. You can go to the village shop and you can bring home more neat stuff. And these are just cards that are worth victory points at the end of the game. That's what these numbers here in the top left are. All of the little projects are worth 2 at the end of the game. And the other neat stuff, I see one here with 2 and one with 3. I'm not sure what the range is between those, but probably between 2 and 3 would be my guess. Those are just kind of rule breakers, things that you can get when you go, like I mentioned, to the village shop here, and you can get those and kind of have them for the rest of the game. Now you'll notice here, when you acquire this, it does a thing, and then each time you admire, which is one of your actions, or each time you rest, it's one of your actions. It kind of gives you a little bonus for those actions. These cards over here are our major accomplishments, and those are basically end-game scoring, but not really end-game scoring. They're in-game goals, I guess, for scoring. Each one of those is a thing that you can do, and then when you do it, you're going to place one of your 3 tokens on there. The first person to do it will get what's in the top left, and the second person to do it will get over here. Now, I don't think, unless one of her cards says so, I'm not sure Penelope actually accomplishes these. So these are really just goals for us. She might, though. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't look through all of her cards. But from top to bottom here, that top one is have 6 or more completed little projects in your scoring pile. You start the game with 3. That's what these are down here. The second one here is exceed your social battery maximum by 4. So the maximum of your social battery, and yes, that is the social battery of willing yourself out of the house to go outside to go out and get more books, which, I mean, I know at least I feel that. But this one here is to exceed it by 4. So effectively you will have 24 social battery. It maxes out at 20. So you won't be able to spend the 4, but you need to get to 24. And if you do that, you will accomplish that major accomplishment. And the final accomplishment here is have 3 or more stacks of maximum height. And the maximum height for books is 6. Now, for the camera, I've turned mine on their side. They normally would be stacked up. So we are going to assume that the book furthest to the right on these 4 stacks is the book that is on top. And that's how I'm going to play it so that you guys can see what colors we have in our current stacks. These were randomly chosen, except for you do have a starting collection here. Now, I am playing the red player, as I normally do. So I started with 4 red, 3 blue, 3 green, and 2 yellow books. Those are the 4 kinds of books. There are also purple books. They only come into play if a card says so, which we actually did happen to just draw one there. The graphic novel card would get us a purple book. So these are our current stacks. They're random, like I said, from that starting collection. And finally here, as I mentioned, I guess not quite finally, let's go over 2 more things. This is my personal card. I believe these are all the same for every character. Every character is a different color of the 4 colors of the book. So because I am playing the red character here, every time I admire, which again is one of the actions, if red books are the most common type in my apartment, then I get 3 social battery. That's what this green symbol is here. And again, you start with whatever your color is, you start with that being the most. So as you gain new books, if you want to trigger that, you just need to make sure you're getting more red than you are whatever is your second, which in my case would be blue and green tied at 3. So for instance, if I were to grab these 2 books, I'd still be okay. Red would still be my most common. And there are ways to change out those colors too. As I mentioned, these 3 down here are my 3 little projects. I believe the max hand size for little projects is 5. So currently I'm fine. I could go and I could grab 2 more or 1 more from the top there at the bookshop. Finally, Penelope Everready. Penelope Everready is our bot. She is who we are trying, our rival, who we are trying to, guess, just do better at collecting books than. She's been going around. Her name's been showing up at the library. There's some flavor in there for her, which is pretty fun. Her rival card is a deck. So I am playing on level 3 difficulty, which is medium. It goes from 1 to 5. With that, she has cards A through L, I think. And on medium difficulty, you just pull A and B. Where if you were playing on level 1, these would be included. If you were playing on level 5, C and D would also come out. If her deck ever empties and we need to pull another card, we lose. There are ways we'll see here to get cards that she will play back into her deck to shuffle them back in. Otherwise, the game will end when the sun comes down to here. You'll finish that round and play 1 more. How that sun moves every time we go to the village, it's going to move, and then Penelope will also potentially have cards that move that as well. So that's it. That's really what we're doing. So effectively how the game's going to work is we're going to take an action, Penelope's going to take an action, and then we're going to go until either the end of the game or she wins, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. Generally speaking, books in your apartment are worth 1 point each at the end of the game. The little projects are worth 2 points each at the end of the game. And that says it in the top left, but the book specifically said those are all worth 2 points. I assume at least they are, unless there's one that's, that's maybe its deal is it gets you an extra 1 or something like that. Any neat stuff that you have would be worth the points that are in the top left. Again, I don't know what the range is, but we see 2 and 3 out on the board. And then your accomplishments that you've accomplished are also going to be worth the points in the top left there. Penelope will basically score the same way. I think all of her other neat stuff, I think all of hers, some of them I think have question marks. And for her, the question marks are automatically worth 3. So that leads me to believe 3 is probably the highest that they're worth. She's also going to get a point for a book. Her books, I'm just going to set kind of probably above her or to the side somewhere down here. Because she will be getting books. She will be getting these. She will be getting projects. She doesn't do any of them. She doesn't get the bonuses of any of them. She is just collecting all that stuff to get points at the end of the game. Cool. All right, let's get going here. So our little projects we have at the start here is have no green books in your den or kitchen. So I randomly got a little lucky there. I have 3 books that I started with, and only 1 is in the den, and I don't have any in the kitchen. So if I can get that 1 green book out of the den, then this one I can score effectively. I can cash in. These are going to give you not only points, but also social battery. When you go to the village, that action is leave the house. You have to pay 5 social battery to do that. And then you also need social battery for all of these actions up here. So you really want to have pretty high social battery when you leave the house to go to the village. You don't want to just do that with 5 only, because then you cannot do any of the actions that are up here. So you definitely want more than 5. I'd say probably closer to the 15 mark, but the higher the better, really. Our next one is have 3 or more stacks topped with red books in a single room. So the rooms you'll notice here, hopefully on camera, there are 4 rooms. They are outlined in the different colors. So the bedroom is kind of in this aquamarine color. I don't know, bluish green color. The bathroom is these 3 tiles here in purple. You have the den, which are these top 4 in that quadrant there. And then the kitchen is the orange that kind of goes there like that. So we need in a single room to have 3 stacks topped with red books. Now a stack is 1 to 6 books. So currently this one here, again, all the books on the right, or the furthest book to the right is the top of my stack. So 2 of my stacks do have red books on top of them. They're just not in the same room currently. And finally, you have 3+ lonesome red books. A lonesome book is obviously a book that has no other books in its stack. So just a single book a stack of one book and have 3 or more of those in red. Now you draw 5 to start the game, and these looked pretty good for me. The other ones I had, no tall stacks. So a tall stack is 3 or more books. I have 3 currently tall stacks, which wouldn't have been too difficult to get rid of. And then this one is just have lonesome books in the corners. So I decided to go with these guys down here. We'll see if that works out. All right. So the actions we can do, leave the house. We're going to do that later. Read the book will get you 2 of these. And then you're going to set the book on the nightstand. That'll come into play later when you go to the village, because any books on your nightstand, you can actually kind of swap out. Admire is the action you take basically to just do the little projects, and you can do 1 or more. So if I can turn 3 up to 5, you can have in your hand at once, all in at the same time, you can do that. That's actually one of the ways you'll accomplish this accomplishment of having 24 social battery, is if you do an over the top and you go obviously higher than the 20 maximum. You can sort your books, which is picking up a stack of books and then you distribute them to the tops of any stacks or empty stacks. Now you can only put 2 of them max in one stack. So if I took all 4 of these, I couldn't just pop all 4 of them elsewhere, but I could plate all 4 of them down the side here if I wanted to, or I could do 2 and 2, but you wouldn't be able to do any higher than 3 onto another stack. This gather action, again, you're going to get 1 social battery, but you take the top book from up to 6 different stacks and then you place them on any one space. Again, to a maximum of 6. So that is a way to kind of grab whatever books off the top that you want and put them into one stack. Whereas the sort, you're taking the whole stack and you're putting them in there. Read a book, you're grabbing 1 book from anywhere. And that is not necessarily from the top or anything like that. So if I really wanted to get this green, for instance, because our goal is to get it out of the den, I could read a book, gain 2 of our battery here, and just grab that green and put it on the nightstand, and then this one would effectively be complete. And finally, we can rest. When you rest, you gain 2 little projects, you gain 2 social battery, and then you discard down to 5. So 5 is the maximum. So that's another way to get the little projects. All right, so let's get going here. All right, so we are trying to get 3 stacks topped with red books in a single room. Okay. We are trying to get 3 lonesome red books. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to, whoops, this starts on 3. This is us. We are going to sort. Now you cannot take the same action twice in a row. So when I go to sort, my next action has to be going somewhere else. You cannot sort a second time in a row. Like I do it as my 3rd action, but I'd have to go somewhere in between. So we're going to pick up this stack here, I think, because that is going to get the green book out of the den. And there are 2 red books here. So we can put them, we want 3 lonesome red books. We also want 3 red books in a single room. So let's go ahead and put a red book here. Whoops, even though it's only 1 book, I'm going to continue to try to put it on its side. We're going to put a red book here. Okay. And then we will put a green book here. And a green book there, like so. Okay. So now we have no green books in the den or in the kitchen. Cool. We do not have either of these yet. So with my next action, I can hopefully get one of those. If I can get, matter of fact, if I just read, I also forgot that does get me a social battery. On my next turn, if I just read one of these red books, they'll go to the nightstand, and I will then have 3 lonesome red books, and I will have 3 stacks of red books in 1 room. So that's probably what we're going to do. However, it is Penelope's turn. So this little token here represents Penelope, and let's see what she is doing here. So we draw a rival card. And we do what it says based off, so we're going to be basically doing a line of cards. So however many cards are in her pile, that is what you're going to do here. So this is the first card, so we're going to do where it says 1 to 3. So she is going to go to the cafe, which is a special spot she has right here. And it says right here, it has no base effect. So it doesn't do anything by itself, but this card is going to do something. Gain 2 books from the bag. So here's our bag of books. We are just going to shuffle these up and get her 2. Again, I don't think color matters for her so much. But we are just going to have those separated like so. So there you go. She has 2 books. That was her turn. Okay. On our turn, I think we are going to do what I mentioned before. I think we are going to read a book, which gets us 2 social battery. And we are going to read, we're going to read this one here off the bottom of this stack. And that's going to go on our nightstand. Like so. Okay. That's us. So it is time for Penelope. All right, so we're just going to stack it like this. You also want to keep these visible when you complete your little projects. You'll notice here, mine says if you have no green books, and green is highlighted in green, or red is highlighted in red. That's how you get her cards back into her pile. So for right now, for instance, if I were to complete one of these 2 reds, she has red books up here. So because this one has a red book and this one has a red book, and this says red, when I complete one of these, or both, these are going to get shuffled back into her deck. So right now, I can get both of these back into her deck, which is pretty good. Because again, if she ever needs to draw and can't, she wins. Okay, so that was her turn. She has 2 cards in her stack, so she is doing this again. She's going to the cafe, which is where she's at. Gain the little project card from the smallest bookstore shelf and restock. Okay, so the smallest bookstore shelf up top is the one with just 1 book. So she's going to gain the little project, and for her, they just kind of get set to the side here. So we'll just put it right here like this. She does not get, or she doesn't have to do any of this. This is basically just 2 points for her at the end of the game. She does not have a social battery, so you don't have to worry about that. And it does say, I think, restock. Now, restock in the book says not only does this come out, but you also restock the books. So each one of those piles is going to get 1 more. At least according to what I saw in the rules, that is what restock meant. But still, because each one gets 1 more, we still have a small, medium, and large pile of books. Okay. All right, so we have 2 red here. We have a green there. I kind of want to wait for her to get another card, though, before we turn in these. Because if we turn these in, both of those will go back. I don't know what the frequency is of red versus green versus blue versus yellow, but having 2 red and green out there, if the next one is also either red or green when we turn these in, because we can turn all 3 of these in now, when we turn these in, we'll get rid of all 3 of the cards. So, I mean, doing it for 2 might be worth it, but I think we are going to hold up. So what do we want to do? You know what? Let's rest and maybe get 2 more. I just want to verify real quick. I think the 2 you get, I don't know if they come off the top or if you get to pick. Here we go. Draw 2 new little project cards. That's all it says. Considering it says draw 2 new, I'm going to assume it's from the stack. So let's rest. We're going to rest, which is going to get us 2 more social battery. And it's going to get us 2 new little projects. So hopefully these, if we could also do these and turn them all in, we're very close to being able to do the exceed your social battery. So let's see here. Okay, so we have 3 or more lonesome green books. We currently have 1 lonesome green book. Have no blue books in your den or kitchen. We have 1 blue book in, oh no we don't. Yeah, we have 1 blue book in our kitchen. We have no books in our den. So we are actually very close to being able to do all 5 of these. The green books, we would just need to get these 2 separated. And then the no blue books, we would just have to get that book out of the kitchen. So those things are both pretty doable. So we might get those done, turn all 5 in at the same time, and then hopefully clear Penelope's cards here. The more cards she gets in her stack, though, basically the more she does effectively. All right. We are adding a 3rd card. Okay. It also has red and it has blue, and we do have a blue card. Actually, we have cards from every color but yellow now. So as long as there's not, there are, I think, cards in here though that don't have a color on it, which you have to get rid of through other means. Whenever you do an accomplishment, you can get rid of books, and you can name colorless, or you can name a specific color and you can clear them as well. She's going to go to the park. Okay, so the park is up here. She's going to sit on one of these benches. She'll choose this one. So she gets a special action. Add a rival card to the queue. Do not resolve its action. So this is just going to add another rival card here. Oh, there we go. There's a colorless card. You don't do its action, but on her next, she'll have a 5th instead of only having 4 like she's supposed to. The park typically is not a space you just go to. That is the space that you go to when someone kicks you out of your space. So if you're playing a multiplayer game and someone's already at the bookstore, well, if I go to the bookstore, that person gets kicked out to the park, which isn't a bad thing. They get 2 social battery, and that's it. They don't lose a turn or anything like that. So when she goes there, she just gets another rival card. Okay, so on our turn, let's see. We need to get this green book by itself and this blue book out of the kitchen. So I think we are going to sort, which will get us a social battery, and we are going to sort this pile. So we don't want to put a green book in the den or the kitchen. We don't want to put a blue book in the den or the kitchen. So let's go ahead and put the blue book here. We now have 3 blue books on top of stacks. So assuming that that card probably exists as well, if that one happens to come out, we would be in good shape there. We are then going to put this green. We'll just put it with another green. Nope, we don't want to do that because we want it to be by itself. But we don't want it in the den or the kitchen. Oh, okay. We're not going to be able to do those, I don't think. Oh no, we'll put this blue here. We'll put this green by itself here. And then this red can currently go anywhere. So we will leave it in, actually we'll put it in the den. Like so. Cool. Okay. So I don't think we're going to be able to complete all 5, but we will be relatively well set up to do all of them but this one. I think that'll be our plan on our next turn here. Okay. Penelope. It is another colorless here. She now has 5 cards in here, though. So she is going to go to the bookstore, which is here. And she is going to take the medium shelf, which is this. So she will get this, and she will get these. And again, the little projects, we're just going to kind of stack like that. And the books, I think I'll just put in maybe columns of 5 to make it easy to count. I don't know. We'll see. And then you re-shelf. So another little project will come out, and we will put more books out. Put one over here. One here. And one here. No red, which we want red. Okay. We are at 9. So if we complete 4 of these, that'll be 12, which is 21. So we need to do something else. Okay. I have 3 stacks, top with red books in a single room. We have that. Okay, we are going to gather, which will get us this. And we are going to take the top book from up to 6 stacks, place these on a stack on any one empty space. We're just going to take this yellow one, and we're going to put it here in the kitchen. So now, let's see. I think I have all 5 of these complete. Which again, first time playing the game, and I'm not saying I'm great at it or even this type of game. So I may have already made terrible errors. So, I mean, sound off in the comments, but, you know, stop yelling at me. All right, so we don't have any green books in the kitchen or the den. We have 3 stacks topped with red books in a single room in the bedroom. We have 3 lonesome red books. We actually have 4 lonesome red books. We have 3 or more lonesome green books. We do. And we don't have any blue books in the den or the kitchen. Cool. So on my next turn, I can admire and we will accomplish this major accomplishment because we will be getting 15 on top of our 10, which is 25, which is, again, a waste of 5, except it does get us the accomplishment. Cool. All right, let's see what she's going to do. This is the 6th card we are placing. Okay. So she is going to the cafe, which, again, is her special spot here on her card. And she has a little son, so that is going to advance the end of the game. She gains 3 books from the bag. 1, 2, and 3. This is the retail version of the game, by the way. So these little wooden books are pretty cool. And I think this was crowdfunded. I'm not sure what you got with the crowdfunding, though. Okay, so that was her. We are then going to admire. So admire action. Accomplish 1 or more little projects and gain their rewards. So we have 5 little projects, which is our maximum. And as we just discovered, or just went over in the last turn, we can turn them all in. Each one is worth 2 points at the end of the game. Each one is worth 3 social battery. I have 5 total. So we're just going to go ahead and turn them all in. That's going to get us 15 social battery, which will take us to 20, plus the extra 5, which means we will go ahead and mark that major accomplishment. So a couple things happen with the major accomplishment. You get the points. You also get the neat stuff. There's a little symbol here, the little kind of a blue briefcase, I think is what it is how you're going to go ahead and get one of those things. And I think it is one of the 2 that is up, I believe. Yeah, I don't think it says in here. So we're just going to, or it might be a face down one. No, we're just going to assume it's one of these 2. All right, so the art print, when you acquire this, you draw 2 little projects. Each time you rest, you draw a little project. So that would be basically getting 3 little projects when we rest, which is pretty good. The graphic novel, when you acquire this, you add a purple book to the top of any stack. And then each time you admire, like we're doing right now, you can name a color and you can treat that purple book as any color until the end of the turn. So it's a wild book that you get to decide what it is when you admire. Both of those seem pretty cool. I think I'm going to go with the art print because I like the card draw, especially since I'm about to, I basically don't have these 5 cards anymore. So we're going to take this and draw 2 more cards. Now, when we accomplish this major accomplishment, like I said, we're going to turn these in. But first, what we need to do is the colors that are mentioned are green, red, and blue. So any of these that have green, red, or blue are going to get shuffled back into her deck, which is all of them except these 2. However, these 2 are colorless. When I complete this major accomplishment, I either name a color or I name colorless, and those also go back. So I'm going to name colorless, and all of these cards are going to get shuffled back into her deck so that we're not about halfway, I think, towards losing because she's almost out of cards. So these are all just going to get put in a pile next to my little character card here. Just nudge that. And then all of these cards are going to get shuffled back into her rival deck, which we'll do now. The neat part about that as well is we just completed 5 little projects. Another accomplishment is to complete 6 or more. So we're only 1 away because that's how math works, completing that one. This one, 3 stacks of maximum height. Currently with our setup, that's a little more difficult, but we can certainly attempt to do that one as well. Okay, so the her deck is ready to go again. We accomplished that. We are going to take the art print. We'll put that right here. And we will draw 2 cards. Let's see here. All right. I said it probably existed. Have 3 stacks topped with blue books in a single room. Okay, well, we're close. We've got 2 of them. Okay, and then this one, in the kitchen, have 3+ tall stacks in your kitchen. And it says right on the card, a tall stack has 3 or more books in it, 3+ books in it. Okay, in the kitchen, which currently we only have a book in the kitchen. So we're kind of close on this one. Oh, this one too, the little project, gets you other neat stuff as opposed to the social battery. So those are things to keep in mind. All right, here is one worth only a point. It is a bookshelf. Gain 2 books of any one color from the bag. Ooh, neat. Okay, cool. That was us. So Penelope is going to go, and she's back to having 1 book on her stack. So she's going to the park. An additional rival card is going to go to the queue. I assume that's 2? Add a rival card, because when she goes to the park, she adds a rival card to the queue. You did not resolve its inaction. And this says an additional rival card to the queue. So I think she's getting 2 more. 1 and 2. I want to make sure there we go. Which, yikes, I felt real good about getting rid of all those, and now all of a sudden she has 3 again. Okay. I think it might be time for us to head to the village and get some new books. We are maxed out on our social battery. So we are going to leave the house. Something I don't like to do in real life. We're going to do it right now. So that is going to cost us 5 social battery. It is also going to advance the sun marker closer to the end of the game. And now we get to take a turn in the village. So we're going to go somewhere up in the village, and we're effectively taking turns up here now until we don't want to anymore. And then on your turn, if you don't want to anymore, you just come back to your house and you can get books. So we have a backpack down here with 2 spots. Any books that we get, we will stack in the backpack however we want to a maximum of 6 in each stack, so we can get a maximum of 12 books. And then those stacks are going to go into our apartment somewhere the way that they are stacked in our backpack. So let's see. What do we want our action to be? Well, we could take the most books, which would be obviously this guy here. There are 5 books there. None of them are red. So, oh, I forgot. We also should have gained 3 more. We had well over 24, because when we admired, we have red as the most we have currently. So we would have gotten 3 more social battery there. Didn't need it though. We were at 25, I think. So we technically were at 28 and we needed to be at 24. So, oh well. Okay, so if we take those 5 books, red will no longer be our highest, at least not currently. And then that goal is in the bedroom, have 3 or more tall stacks in your bedroom. And again, tall is 3 or more books. So currently we do have 4 stacks in our bedroom. So we could probably do that one relatively easily. Now there's no color on that one. This one has the blue color in it, but we already have one that has the blue color in it. She doesn't have any blue cards anyway. So ideally we want to keep these limited, because again, we will lose if she runs out of cards. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and go to the bookstore. When we go to the bookstore, we are going to take the largest pile. So that's going to cost us 6 social battery, which puts us down to 9. And we are going to take this card, add it here. And we're going to take all of these. Now, as we get them, we're going to put them in our backpack however we want, basically. We have 2 spots in our backpack. Let's see. Have 3 or more stacks topped with blue books. So I think we want to make sure that the blue books are on the top. So, well, we're probably going to get more books while we're here. Maybe. So we want 3 stacks topped with blue books in a single room. Have 3 or more tall stacks in your kitchen. Have 3 or more tall stacks in your bedroom. So we can knock these 2 out at the same time if we have tall stacks that also have blue books on top. So we are going to Yeah, we're going to put these 4. We'll do this. We'll put this one on top too. Those 5 like that in one of our backs. Oh, sorry. I should have turned those this way. So we're going to do this because I think we're going to get more books before we leave. We've got 9 left. Ooh, maybe we're not. Maybe we're not. Okay. We are going to do these 3 on this side like that. And these 2 like that in my 2 backpack slots. That was my bookstore action. So let's go ahead and see what she's got here. Okay, she's got 4 cards now. So she's going to go to the park, which is where she's at already. And when she goes to the park, you're going to add a rival card to the queue and not do its action. But first, we have to do this. She's going to gain 1 book from the bag. Okay, so she gains 1 book from the bag. And then she's going to add another rival card here. Okay, well, we're going to complete a blue one, so those 2 at least are going to be going away, hopefully, if we can complete the blue one. On our turn, we are going to go to the village shops. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to refresh up here. So this should be there, and then we add a book. Oh, there's a red one. And a book. Okay. Does that change what I want to do? Do I want to leave money left over? Nah. All right, we're going to spend all 9 of what we have left. And we are going to grab both of these. And then we're going to reset the shops, which just means had I only taken one, the other one would have gone away and 2 new ones would have come out. All right, so when I take those, this one, when you acquire this, gain 2 books of any 1 color from the bag. And that's all it's going to do. So this one I'll just tuck underneath 1. The graphic novel, though, when you acquire this, add a purple to the top of any stack. So we're going to take one of these purple books and we're going to add it to the top of any stack. So let's see, what are we trying to do here? Have 3 tall stacks in your kitchen, have 3 tall stacks in your bedroom, and then this one is have 3 stacks top with blue books in a single room. Okay, so we are going to put this purple right here, like so. And then now that is the one every time we admire, which is when we complete these, we can basically say what color that purple book is. The bookshelf itself, we are going to go ahead and gain 2 of any 1 color from the bag. Okay. Well, I think we're going to get red so that we can at least have our admire thing. So there's a red one and there's a red one. Let's give those a little shake there. So we're going to get these, and then the bookshelf, that's all it does. It doesn't have a persistent effect. So I'm just going to tuck it. It's worth a point at the end of the game, but for now, I do not need to look at that. So we're going to take these, and we want stacks 3 or higher in the kitchen. So we're just going to put both of these. It did say you gain 2 books of any 1 color from the bag. I assume when you gain books like that, they go, I don't know if they go to your backpack or if they go just in here. Gain 2 books. Okay, I'm going to assume, because you can get these anytime, I'm going to assume you just directly put them right in here. I might be wrong on that, but you can get these things through accomplishments and stuff like that, or through these. So if that's the case, then I wouldn't be in the village, so I really wouldn't be using my backpack. So I think that makes the most sense. Okay, that was us. We do have to refill this here. So now we have a record player. On your turn, flip this card to discard any number of little projects, and then draw until you have 5 in hand. Oh, that's cool. And we have a jigsaw puzzle. Ooh, I like jigsaw puzzles. Each time you read, which is when you're putting a book on your nightstand, you can place 1 little project from your hand into your scoring pile. Cool. All right, that was us. So Penelope is going to go. This is the 6th card. So she is going to go to the library. When she goes to the library, she draws 1 book from the bag and add 1 book to each shelf on the bookstore. She's going to get 3 additional books because of what the card says. So she's getting 4 books, which I drew. Again, I don't think the color of her books matter, but other than they are randomly taking away from what I can get. And then she's going to add 1, 2, 3. All right, lots of books there. I got to get my social battery up to go outside again. Okay, that was her. All right, I am going to decide to come home. So when you come home, there's a little spot over here, welcome home. You're going to place the stacks from your backpack, and then you're going to take a home turn. So I am going to go ahead here. I had a goal, have 3 stacks topped with blue books in a single room. So we're going to put these in the bedroom. We're going to put these in the bedroom, like so. Keeping them the same way they were. So again, the right is the top. Oh boy, this is getting fiddly because of the way I'm playing it. And then you can immediately take an action to take a turn at home, which is one of the normal actions. So currently we do have this card done because we have 3 stacks of blue books in a single room. Because this purple I can say is blue, and then when we do that, that will work there. But something else we could do is we could just take another action to put a blue book on top of there, and that would then make that 3 tall, and I would complete both of these when we do the admire action, which seems more efficient, so I think that's what I'm going to do. It kind of defeats the purpose of the purple, but oh well. So let's go ahead then. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and sort, which will get me that. When we sort, we're going to grab these 2 books out of the bathroom. And we are going to put 1 here to make that 3 or higher, and also to make it blue. And then the kitchen, we just need 3 stacks of 3 books. So we'll just start another stack there for this guy in the future. All right, that was us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is her 7th card. So she is going to the shops over here. She gains both of those cards. Okay, so yeah, this card just says she visits the shops and takes the rival card action. So the rival card says she gains both, which again, for her, is just points. She doesn't actually get what they say. It's effectively just points. So I'm just going to tuck these in a pile of cards here where she's going to get the points at the end. When she's done with that, we are going to get a lucky kitty and a beanbag chair. Fun. All right, it is our turn. So we are going to admire. When we admire, I am going to say that that purple book is red, just so that I'm pretty sure I have more red anyway. But just to be safe here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue. So yeah, I don't need to, but the purple book, that's its thing. Treat your book as it's any color to the end. So I'm going to say the purple book is red. That's going to mean red is our most common. So I'm going to get 3 social battery. We are then going to turn this one in, have 3 stacks topped with blue books in a single room. We have that currently in the bedroom. So that is going to get us 1, 2, and 3 more social battery and get added to our pile. Have 3 tall stacks, 3 or more tall stacks in your bedroom. We have 3, so that's going to get us one of these cards, and it's also going to score us 2 points at the end. So let's see. Each time you rest, 3 more, and I'm about to rest to get more cards, so I think I'm going to take the beanbag chair. The lucky kitty is cute. They come with their own things. You place it beside any room in your home. At the end of the game, you score 1 point for each blue book in that room, max of 5, because it's the blue lucky kitty. That would be good for me, but for the longevity of the game, I'm going to take the beanbag chair. And presumably that gets replaced immediately. Now, the other thing, oh, look at that. It's a board game, and it's this board game. Adorbs. All right, this one. All right, this has a question mark. Oh boy. I think, I'm not 100% sure what this one is showing, but to me, it looks like copies of the game Boop. And if you have 1, 2, 3, or 4, you get points. So my guess is there are multiple board game cards, and it's just a little set collection. That's what I'm guessing. Of course, the other option is the Lucky Kitties. There are also 4 Lucky Kitties out there, but it's probably for the 4 copies of the board game card, which is kind of cool. A little set collection. I love set collection. So the other thing that's going to do, however, is that is our 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We now have 7 completed little projects, which is going to complete this accomplishment. Have 6 or more completed little projects in your scoring pile. We do. Since we did that, that's going to get us 1, 2, and 3 social battery and 4 points at the end of the game. Cool. When we completed these, one of them said blue. So the 2 cards that say blue, I am going to put back into her pile. When can we complete that accomplishment? I'm going to say colorless. So the 4 cards that are colorless are going to be shuffled back into her pile. So these, basically she's going to have this one left. Okay. And then we'll get her shuffled up, and it's her turn. So yeah, so far I gotta say I'm liking this quite a bit. Granted, the theme, the adorable artwork, doing a good amount of the heavy lifting. But the actual game itself, the little puzzliness of it is pretty fun so far. This is one that I might try to get Josh and Tim to play. Tim has recently started collecting books. He blames me for that, but I've been collecting books for years, so I don't know why he all of a sudden just started paying attention to it. Josh is more of a graphic novel guy, but kind of a similar thing. He's got to find a place to put all those as well. Loves his picture books. All right, her card. Cool, it's red. So is there anything up there that none of those say red on it? She's going to go to the park. When she goes to the park, you're going to add a rival card to the queue. Oh, man. Just when I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that. Okay. 2 red, 2 green, but none of the cards are showing colors, which is unfortunate for the little projects. On my turn, I'm going to rest. So when I rest, I'm going to get 2 social battery from the action itself, but my beanbag chair is going to get me 3 more. And then I'm going to gain 2 little projects, but my art print is going to get me another one. So again, this says gain and this says draw. So I don't know if the gain from rest potentially I could grab those. I'm just going to draw 3 off the top. Which is, I think, if I'm playing this wrong, it's to my detriment, because obviously I can see those and see what they are. So let's see, what did we get? We have exactly 1 empty space in each room. We are not close to that, but I think we could get real close to that with 1 action, which is cool. Have no yellow books in your bedroom or bath. Okay, bedroom and bath both have. I have 3 total yellow books in bedroom and bath. And then lastly, have no books in your central 4 spaces. Well, I have no books in 3 of my central 4 spaces. So I think that worked out pretty well. We can do some moving around here. And I think we're 1 book. No, actually, if we move these 3, these 2 will both be complete, which is cool. All right, that is our turn. So she has 4 cards. She's going to go to the park. She's already at the park. And while she's at the park, she's going to add a rival card to the queue. But it also says gain 3 books from the bag. So 1, 2, 3. So she is up to 16 points worth of books. Okay, and then she's going to add a rival card. I believe I am playing that correctly. And again, if not, I think I'm doing it and making it harder on myself. Cool. All right. So we are going to, which action? Sort. That'll get us this here. When we sort, we are going to pick up a stack. It's going to be this one. That clears the center 4. And then we are going to put these books down wherever we want. Distribute them to any top of any stacks or empty spaces. So we're going to put one here. We're going to put our purple one here. And we're going to put our green one here. So now we have our central 4 clear and have exactly 1 empty space in each room. Oh, nope, that doesn't do that. We need to, okay. Not a problem. We can do 1 at a time. Cool. Yeah, because 2 of the, I guess I didn't notice that 2 of the spots there are the kitchen. Not a problem. Still going to do that. I still like that. Her turn. All right. This is the 6th card. So she is going to go to the library and she's going to get 3 additional books. So she's going to come over here to the library. She draws 1 book from the bag, which is actually going to be 4 books. 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's up to 20 points in books. I think it behooves me to get moving here. And then that is going to add another book to each pile up here. So 1, 2, ooh, 2 red. And 3. Okay. Yeah, we might leave the house. Or do we admire first? No, if we admire, 1, 2, 3, we'd go over 20 again by 2 this time because we would have that. Which is kind of a waste. Meh, we're going to do it anyway. Well, are we? So our last major accomplishment, because this is getting out of hand, and the only one I have is have no yellow books in your bedroom or bathroom. My bathroom has 1. My bedroom has 2 in 2 different spots. Okay. We're going to... Man, all right. We're going to admire. We're going to admire. So we're going to gain 1, 2, 3 because red is our highest. We are also going to, we have no books in the central 4 locations. So we're going to add that over here, which gets us 3 more. We can only hold 1 more, but that's okay. Cool. That is us. So she is going to go. This is her 7th card. So she's going to the cafe. Where is she? There she is. And gain 4 books from the bag. Yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we'll start doing more down here. Okay. Cool. On our turn, we are going to leave the house. So we are going to go here. We're going to move this. And we're going to go... We're going to go up there. Yeah. Okay. None of those. There's blue. There's 2 over here that are blue. We got to get rid of some of her cards here. Easiest way to do that is probably when I come back. I could do the have three or more tall stacks in your kitchen. That should be easy enough to do. I already have 1 technically tall stack in my kitchen. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to the bookstore, and I want the medium stack. So that's going to cost 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to take this card, have at least 1 book in each of a 3x3 square of your home, which currently we don't have because we just cleared the middle. But we should be able to do that relatively easily here. And then 2 red, 2 blue. We are going to go ahead and just, I think we're just going to keep those. Now we'll do 2 piles of 2 with those, both with blue on the bottom, red on top, for no real reason whatsoever. And then we do need to refill that. So that's going to get a card. Have 3 lonesome blue books, which I currently have 2 lonesome blue books. So that might be one we go back to the bookstore later to get, because we can complete that one. Okay. her turn. 8th card. 8 or more. She's going to the bookstore. This is going to move. She is going to kick us out, which means we do get 2 social battery. She is going to take the largest shelf, of course. So she is going to take this card and all these books. I mean, if you didn't see that coming, you know, come on now. Oh, well, that's not even the, it's not even the shelf I was eyeing, even though it had the most books. All right. When she does that same thing, we're going to refill it. Have 4 blue books in a single stack. Okay. Yikes. Lots of the same colors up there. All right. So even if you're kicked out, I cannot immediately go back to the bookstore. I have to take another action in between. Okay, so if we're trying to do the lonesome blue books, I currently have 2. I will need to go back to the store to get those. Do I want these, though? I have 14. So I could go and I could take both of those. And then I can place a blue kitty next to a room. And at the end of the game, I can score 1 point for every blue book in that room to a maximum of 5. Which doesn't seem bad. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do that. So we're going to go to the village shop. I'm going to spend 9. Leaving me with 5. I'm going to take both. So we got a little, I think, set collection, presumably, at the end of the game. At the very least, it's worth 2 points. So we'll kind of just, we'll set that. Yeah, we'll set it under here. And then I get the little blue kitty. And we're going to put the blue kitty there. So if I'm getting that other book, which I may or may not be, because if she goes to the bookstore again, I won't be. That means I need... let's go ahead and put this in the kitchen. Yeah, we're gonna put that in the kitchen. No, we're gonna put it in the bedroom. Okay. That was me. We will refresh these. I might lose. She's down to just a few cards. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is her 8th or more. So she's going to the shops. Okay, so she's going to kick me out again, which will get me 2. She's going to take both of these plus a blind one, which I just want to look at for fun. It's a snow globe. Okay. And then 2 more will come out. Okay, I think I need to come back because I need to complete some of these to clear some of these. She's only got 3 cards left. So I need to clear some of her stuff. And what do I have here? Have exactly 1 empty space in each room. I don't have 3 plus tall stacks in your kitchen. I can do that if I return home. I can have 3 because I can just put those. No, I can't. That's not in the kitchen. Okay, I need more books. Just like in life. Okay, I think, oh, she went to the shops, so she's over here. I think we're going to go back to the bookstore. Yeah, we're going to go back to the bookstore. And we are going to take 3 lonesome blue books, have 4 blue books in a single stack, have 3 plus tall stacks among your 4 central spaces. Okay. Yeah, we're going to pay 6 and we're going to take this. Okay. So we'll move my kitty over here. I am maxed out now. And we're going to take all of these. And we're definitely coming home next turn. So we are going to put these here. in those there. And then we will refill. One, two, and three. These are getting sloppy, but we're doing all right. All right, she is then doing this. She is going to the library. Okay. Okay. So when she goes to the library, she draws one book from the bag, and then she is going to add one to each stack. One, whoops, two, three. And then this says she is gaining all little projects from the bookstore and then restock. So, and again, the book says as part, the restock is also putting more books out. So I believe each one of those is going to get another book. Okay, that's her. We are coming home because we got to. And we are going to put these here. We are going to put, oh boy, this is getting more difficult. Those there. Okay. And then we get to take our action, and I think it's going to be admire. No, that doesn't do anything for us. Have at least one book in each space of the 3x3. She's got 2 cards left. Have 3, okay. None of these have colors except the yellow, so we need to do this. Have 3 plus stacks of maximum height. All right, we can do that next turn. No, we can't. Oh no! We might lose. Have no yellow books in your bedroom or bath. We do. Okay. She's got 2 cards left. All right, well, we're going to have to do something here. So we are going to sort. We're going to pick up a stack of books and redisperse them however we want. Max 2 per doohickey. So this one is going to be maxed at 6. So I'm just going to put 1 book on top because a 6 won't fit in there. We're then going to add 2 to this stack, which is also going to max that one out. So we'll put that one up there like so. And then we are going to add 1 in here. That's us. Uh-oh. Okay. Discard both. Wait, she's going to the shops. All right. Discards both other neat stuff cards and then gains 5 books from the bag. So these are just going to get discarded. And then she's going to get 5 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This does advance that. So 1 more round, which I do believe we are going to lose because we needed 2 more rounds. Oh, no, wait. She has 1 card left. And we lose if she goes to draw a card and can't. So she has 1 card left, which means we should be okay. Well, unless that card says draw another card. Have 3 stacks of maximum height. That's what I was going for. Oh, I can still do that. Okay. So we are going to gather, which will get us this. We're going to take the top book from up to 6 stats and place these on a stack of any 1 space. So we are going to take the top book from, doesn't super matter what stack. We'll go here and we'll go here. and we're going to put them both right here. So we now have 3 stacks that are maximum height. They're even all in the kitchen because I was planning on doing the one thing in the kitchen, but that is going to get us this, which gets us 1, 2, and 3 social battery, and allows us to clear a color here, which I think colorless is the way to go. So these two, this one. So these will get shuffled back. So we won't lose this way, but she's going to take her last turn, and then we're going to add up score. And I'm not overly confident in my score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the 7th card. So she is going to the library, and she's going to get 3 additional books. When she goes to the library, she gets 1 book. So she's going to get 4. And then she adds books to the top up there, but I don't think that's going to matter because the game's over. Yikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She has 41 points in books. And then let me just make sure I'm getting all of her. 2 per little project and X per other. Yeah, so. Okay. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12 points in little projects, which puts her up to 53. And then she gets the points up here. So 55, 57, 58, 61, 62. She has 62. I'm going to just mark that in my phone because I will forget as I count mine up. So we're just going to go to the calculator app and just say 62. That's her score. Now for us, I mean, I technically should have brought these out. And the only reason I'm curious about that, yeah, there it is, board game. So it is just set collection for the board game cards. Cool. Okay, we are going to get 2 points for every completed little project. Which I just want to make sure here. Yeah, okay, so we're going to get 1 point per book, 2 per accomplished little project, X points for the neat stuff, the victory points for the major accomplishments, and then 1 victory point for every 4 social battery that we have, which we got to 6, so that's a whole point. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 3 stacks of 8 is 18 for a total of 29. These were not completed. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 plus 29 is 45. Okay. 48. 50. 51. 52, 53. 54, 55. Our cat is only going to get us 1, so 56. But 12 more. So 68 to 62. We narrowly beat Penelope in the game of collecting books. So yeah, that's the solo version. Now, obviously, in the non-solo version, someone else is just taking Penelope's turn. But effectively, I think that does a pretty good job in terms of solo modes. And it's not beat your own score, which I personally don't have an issue with, but I know a lot of solo players do. But you are attempting to beat Penelope, and yeah, managing this early on, it was easy. But with the accomplishments, you really got. I think maybe I jumped the gun and got 2 of those too quickly, because clearing these there at the end, it was rough looking. It was looking pretty rough there. I mean, luckily she ended it, but really we didn't want her to end it. We kind of want to end it on our own terms. First impressions, I really like it. That was fun. It's nice and cozy. It very aesthetically reminds me of, there's a PC game. Well, I think it's more than just PC, but I think it's called Tiny Bookshop or something like that. where you're running a little small bookshop and you're trying to sell books. So kind of the opposite of this, but the color palette is very similar, and it's also just kind of very cozy. So yeah, for me, I really like this one quite a bit. It was a pretty fun solo experience, and it's simple enough that I could play this perhaps with the nephews or my folks or something like that. So I might force Tim and Josh to play it at least once. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was a fun solo experience, and these goals were fantastic. Didn't even make it halfway through them. Same with the other neat stuff. Didn't make it halfway through those. And some of the combinations, it reminded me of Agricola of getting two bonus actions for rest, right? So it's kind of when you get bonus actions for the same spot in a worker placement game, that was kind of cool to be able to do that as well. So fun little combos going on too. But yeah, that is a place for all my books, and I found it to be quite fun. So thanks for your time. We'll catch you next time.